Hey Warriors, Warrior Man here. Late in the afternoon on February 2nd, 2012, and been out of the loop for a few days like I tweeted, celebrating my wife and I's 13th wedding anniversary, and made a big deal out of it, not just for the day of January 31st, the actual day of the anniversary, but the day before and a day after. My wife grew up in a family where they celebrated things in a really huge way. Holidays, birthdays, anniversaries, other special occasions, patriotic holidays and stuff like that. I didn't grow up in a family like that. And when I met her and we started spending a lot of time together and decided we were going to spend our lives together, she turned me on to that, and it was just an incredible experience. And she's continuing that tradition with our own daughters, which is an awesome experience for them to have. It, to stop and on those special days that you remember happening in your life where you were just there at that place, all caught up in what was going on. And your birthday, it's got everything to do with what matters the most, your life and your reason for being here and your uniqueness and everything. So, of course, it being our anniversary made it a special day, but what made it even more of a big deal was that it's our 13th wedding anniversary. Because 13, you see, the number 13 is the Warrior family's good fortune number, lucky number, if you want. I don't like to use the word luck, so I call it good fortune number. And 13 came to mean something to me much different than other people see it as being something unlucky or all kind of being a bad omen or being superstitious of it, that it meant bad things. It's actually, it's the best good fortune, best lucky number that there is. And I've told that story before. I'm not going to tell it again now because I just wanted to get on here for a few minutes. I thought because I missed you the last couple of days, I would sit down and do more of it. It does matter video, jump right into something. I get 500 or 600 emails a day. Thank you very much for all the emails you send me. Please don't be offended if you don't get a response back from me. I just don't have the time. And I don't want to do automatic responses. I think that's offensive to you. And to do that, and I also think that, to hire somebody, have somebody just sit for, 8 hours a day and answer emails with their voice, not my voice, I think that's offensive too, so I just don't do it. But I want to let you know, and I will every chance I get when I do my videos. Thanks very much for taking the time to write me. I do respond to some, and some of you are quite surprised when I do. You can't believe it. But I get a lot of the emails that come in, I get asked all kinds of things. People want to know everything about my life. And since I'm sitting here off to the side of my gym, I thought that I would address one of the more abundant line of questioning or inquiries I get, and that's about exercise and working out. People wanted some detailed information about my workout program today, what it was like when I was bodybuilding, what it was like when I was a young kid getting started, what it was like when I was in the business. People want detailed information about my eating habits, how I stay disciplined to eat good, healthy food and stay lean. And, I don't think I mentioned it any place, but a couple weeks ago, I did an interview with Zach Evanesh over at the Underground Strength Coach. We got on the phone, we talked for a couple hours, and I don't think that we really got around to what we intended to get into, meaning specifically exercise and nutrition type of stuff. We got into a lot of great topics, and there's a lot of great takeaways in it. I know he's posted it in 2 pieces over there on the subscriber side. And when we first did it, he said, let me know when you want the audio. I'll get it to you. I'll reach out to him. I'll get the audio, and you guys can listen to it too. Enjoy it up here at One Warrior Nation. But because we didn't get into that stuff, I can talk about that stuff occasionally on the videos that I do for a couple minutes and try to narrow it down to something. And for today, what I want to do is narrow it down to this. I get a lot of emails from a wide range of ages. But a sense that I get from a lot of you young guys out there is an anxiety that you have about your working out and exercising. And you shouldn't have that. It should be an absolute blast. It should be fun. It should be enjoyable that you get this, for the lack of a better word, luxury to be able to work out, to have the time in your lives to go and do something that is of a positive benefit to the quality of your life. my intensity is over the top, and like I do my injection of inspiration videos, they happen at the end of my workout. I don't go through my whole day different than people like to think. I don't go through my whole day with that Ultimate Warrior level of intensity on. I mean, my enthusiasm about everything I do is intense, but that kind of over-the-top intensity comes out in my workouts, and I enjoy it. And I know I have said in a previous video, injection of inspiration video, I think the one where I said, my passion is fucking passion. I said something about getting angry, summoning up an anger if you have to get yourself to do the things that you need to do that are good for your life. But my intensity is not synonymous with anger. It's absolute pure joy. It's a blast for me to be able to go into the gym and exercise with that kind of intensity, man, to just be one with my body and the heartbeat, the racing of my blood through my body, the pumping of blood through my body, the sweating, the warmth, the engagement of my mind in the exercises, into the muscle, what I'm doing, what I'm trying to achieve, the challenge that's being put forth by the weights. I mean, like I said, I've had a lot of experiences in my life, but the weights, the cold dead still has never been unfaithful to me. I mean, it's always there ready for the challenge, and it will give back as much as you give to it in your concentration, being caught up in it. And what I get from these emails, because of the information that you're providing to me is, from the information that you're providing me, is you're thinking too much about the small, you're giving too much attention to the small things that don't really matter, and you're not giving enough attention to the big, broader, more basic things that do. I mean, you're telling me that you're in the gym and you're caught up in, are your workouts going to suffer? Or are you not going to make progress because you don't have the latest supplement that's out there? You don't have you forgot your sports bottle with your sports drink. You didn't get all the meals in that day that you wanted to get. You only got 7 hours sleep instead of 8 hours sleep. And what you've done is you've been misled, which is, that's easy. It's easy for that to happen today because of so much misinformation out there and so many people pounding their chests, the alleged gurus and experts pounding their chests who have no real world experience with the things that they're talking about. Science has come a long way, yes, but there are some things science can't explain. And this whole idea that you need to have, carry a cooler around all day and have meals every 3 hours, you got to have 7, 8, 9 hours sleep, you got to have this kind of rest before you go to the gym, you got to have this meal 3 hours before you go to the gym, you got to take this supplement 15 minutes before you go to the gym. At intervals during your workout, you got to take this, you got to do this. You got to be aware that you work out hard, but you don't work out too intense, because if you do, you'll overtrain. You need to be cautious of all that stuff. It's all bullshit. It's all bullshit. And I know that from my real world experiences. The best shape that I've ever been in my life, the biggest gains I ever had with my body, having done powerlifting, bodybuilding, having done it all, is when I was on the road at the peak of my career for 5-6 year span and slept an average of 3 hours a night, and sometimes went 2 or 3 days just eating tuna fish out of the can. And you need to break this habit that you have, because it's creating an anxiety that's having a negative effect on your progress overall. To get the most progress out of what you're doing in the gym, which is most important. I mean, I've said before, I get emails from young people asking me, Warrior, which is most important? To buy my supplements and take the supplements, or go to the gym? Not and or. Meaning some of you out there believe that it's more important to buy the supplements you see advertised in the muscle mags by the bodybuilding guys. That's more important than even having a gym membership or buying an Olympic set and putting it in your garage and making sure you work out every night. That's absurd. And when you go to the gym, first of all, I work out in my barn I set up my own gym, but I've been to commercial gyms. I travel, I go into gyms. I don't see anybody working out like people used to work out, like I remember. Like some of the gyms I used to go to where people they would do the fundamental exercises, deadlifts, squats, military presses, bent over rows, those type of things until they bled out of some orifice. I mean, it's people don't train the same way today. They train in little groups, little clans, 4 or 5 guys. You take 5 or 6 minutes between sets. You yak the whole time. You do text messaging, and your conversation and your inner dialogue is about why you're actually in the gym doing the most important thing you need to do to have progress in weight training, to become stronger, build up your body, or become more capable in your athletic endeavor, a better athlete out on the field. You're in your mind, you've got all this inner dialogue, this busyness going on that, I didn't do this today. I didn't get my meal. I'm a half chicken breast short of the grams of protein I should have by now. I didn't eat the right amount of carbs. It's no good, and you need to dump it. Look, the most powerful supplement that you will ever have, all of you, no matter how much money you got to go buy the stuff, no matter how much money you have to pay personal trainers, the most powerful tool you will have to succeed with your working out, your exercising, your training, whatever you want to label it or call it, and whatever your goals are, the most powerful tool is your fucking mind. You give me a guy who's got the mindset that it doesn't matter if he didn't eat, that's fine, let's go to the gym, let's kick ass. You give me a guy who's got the mindset, I didn't get any sleep last night, but it's time to work out, let's go to the gym, let's kick ass. You give me a guy like that who isn't thinking about those things, but gets to the gym and becomes one. One time I did a post on the working out and the exercising talking about that overtraining is bullshit, and some of the online fitness gurus picked it up. And I made a comment about putting your mind inside the muscle you're working. I mean, putting it in there, zoning in on it, getting inside the muscle, seeing it. One of the best things you can do is be able to imagine what your body looks like, without skin, to understand the anatomy of the body. Because when you're doing certain exercises and the muscle is extending and it's contracting, you want to know what that looks like. You want to be able to put a visual of that in your mind. And then tap into that and be there when you're doing your exercise, not thinking about stupid, silly shit. And here's the other thing. To have anxiety over, you didn't get as much protein today, you didn't get as much sleep as maybe you should have, those type of things. What does it fucking matter? What does it matter? Do you think it really matters when the summer comes, you go to the beach, people are saying, man, if he hadn't done that the 3 or 4 times he did it over the last 3 months in his training, with his training and his eating, he'd be at 0.165 less body fat. You think anybody is looking at you and is going to pick up on the fact that if you'd done this and this and this, got more protein, got more carbohydrates, done this different, done that different, that you'd be benching 40 more fucking pounds? Nobody cares. Why are you caring about it? The truth is, most of you guys that are even in sports right now, you young guys, 3 or 4 years from now, when you get out of high school, or if you're in college, you get out of college, you're going to go on, you're going to get hooked up, you're going to get married, you're going to have kids, you're going to get a job, you're going to have other responsibilities. You're not even going to go to the fucking gym anymore. You're not going to go because you don't have it up here to begin with to fucking go long term. You're not in for the long haul anyway. And you're certainly not in, sorry to tell you, you're certainly not in for becoming a champion. Because champions don't buy into that kind of stupid, silly shit. Champions know it fucking happens here. Switch on, switch off, switch on, switch off. Fuck the outside, the exterior conditions. It all happens internally, and they know that inside the fucking mind. You give me a guy who fucking has got that right, he will kick the fucking crap out of The guy who's in the fucking gym 6 or 7 hours a day, carrying his fucking cooler, 3 or 4 personal fucking trainers, all the functional training equipment and everything else. Give me the guy who's got it fucking here. I mean, that's anabolic, man. That's anabolic. You want growth hormones? Fucking challenge yourself. Step up, rise up to the fucking challenge. That's growth hormone. Don't fucking step down to meet somebody else's silly ass fucking standard that it's not backed up by fucking any real world experience. Go to the fucking gym, get yourself a set of the fundamentals, exercises, which is easy to find out. Use your fucking mind. That's another thing. And I say this in my start kit. You will never not be learning. You will always be learning and you always be starting over. The greatest fucking champions there have ever been still. Dorian Yates, Mr. Olympias, all the great, incredible athletes. They don't stand in the mirror and say, my work is done. They say the work begins tomorrow anew with new knowledge. I start all over again. That's why they're fucking champions. That's why they're champions. If you don't enjoy, that's one of the things that's been a staple of my exercise and working out from day one. I fucking love it. I love it. Other than spending time with my family, being in the gym, getting jacked up, being intense, being in control of my body, having that self-discipline, being able to make that mental connection to my fucking body, what it does for my soul, that is fun, man. And if you're not having fun with your exercise and working out, then don't fucking do it. You know why? Because nobody else gives a fuck. Nobody else gives a fuck. And you can spend your life with other people who don't give a fuck. The group of the, we don't give a fuck about ourselves. They're always going to be out there to spend, to spend their lives with one another. But don't have this anxiety about your exercising and working out and your training and your eating to the point that it's fucking just lunacy. It's a lie. It's a lie. You don't need the whey proteins. You don't need, a gallon of milk's got 128 grams of protein. A gallon of milk would do you, $4 or $5? I know my wife does the grocery shopping. That will do you much better than a fucking $60 jar, 5-gallon jar of whey protein. Drinking the fucking milk. Do the squats. Do the deadlifts. Do the military presses. Bent over rows. Deadlifts. Do those kind of things. Chin-ups. Learn how to do chin-ups. Chin-ups and push-ups. Do those. And put yourself on a progression program where you use the weights you can, say for 5 sets of each exercise. Start with a weight you can get for 5 reps, work your way up to 8 reps. When you get to 8 reps, go back, add weight, and just keep back and forth. Start again, starting over, over and over again, learning. And the most important thing you can do, this is the most important thing you can do. I said it the other day in one of my videos that I don't have 10 rules for success, and I don't. You may, in your life, you may have 103.5 rules for success. I don't know, but you need to learn for yourself. You need to discover that for yourself. You have this fucking thing up here, man. It's a brain, a mind. It gives you the ability. When people ask me, he says, how is it that I have the ability to go out and do something unique or great? Because you have this fucking mind and you can learn anything. There's not anything you can't learn if you make the time and effort to sit down and learn it. But if I was to make a list of things, and I'm always amazed by how many people, especially the people on the internet, which cause the greatest amount of confusion, come up with their list. 50 ways to kick ass in life. 50 ways to kick ass in life? You weren't kicking ass in life while you were making the fucking list. Give me a break. And most people today are falling for that kind of bullshit. It's silly. If there was one thing to put on the list, the most important thing towards being successful at anything you do, it would be to pay attention. And especially so when you're in the gym and you're working out. Shut it down. Put a bubble around yourself. A bubble, a field around yourself that blocks everything else in such a way that if you were in Times Square on New Year's Eve, in the middle of that fucking crowd, you wouldn't even be aware that they're there. Considering drugs, you hear about your friends taking drugs, taking steroids and stuff. That's a steroid right there, man. That's a steroid there. To be able to have that kind of folk to draw everything in, man, that is powerful. That's what you need to be able to do, and listen to your body, man, because it will talk to you. It will talk to you. And will tell you exactly what to do. You don't need to pay attention to other people. Every single person watching this video, I don't care what your life is like. I don't care what the past has been up till now. The past is not the rest of your story. Every single person out there right now has the ability to do that, to learn for themselves. People ask me all the time, say, Warrior, don't you ever just feel like you don't want to do something? I mean, what kind of fucking question is that? Of course I do. I'm human like everybody else. But what I've done and what you can do is you can develop your self-discipline, make it strong in a way where you don't take shit from yourself. You know, not taking shit from other people is one thing, but having the integrity in your self-discipline not to take shit from yourself, now that's strong. I don't let any space get between me knowing I have to do something because it's going to be good for my life, it's going to better my life, and my mind start making up excuses why I can get away with not doing it. As soon as that starts to happen in your mind, you need to scream out, fuck you. Fuck you. You say to yourself, you're going to tell me, you're going to try to talk me out of doing what I know is good for me, makes me a more powerful human being, that means something to the quality of my life. You're going to try to talk me out of it? Fuck you. This is how I'm going to punish you. And when it comes to weight training, those type of things, you can't get up early and go to the gym. You can't make it happen that way. And when you come home at night, you're tired, you've had a long day, blah, 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 blah. The last thing you need to do is go by home, take a shower, sit and eat, sit with the kids, watch TV or any of that stuff. Go to the fucking gym in your street clothes. Just go in, don't even take a gym bag. Hit the gas pedal, turn the wheel, take the turn, go up into the parking lot, slam the fucking door, walk into the gym, scrawl your name and go do your fucking workout and start with full squats, 20 rep sets. I mean, take back yourself. And don't take any back talk from yourself. It's time to start making it matter. Why? Because it does. Your life matters. It always has. In every heartbeat, every breath you take in through your lungs, your life is mattering. But you have to choose yourself. Whether you're going to make it so for the rest of the world. Always believe out of here.